Well, this is fun. We shouldn't be here. We shouldn't be here because we come from we work for a huge corporation, huge, 160,000 people, and it's organized the way big, gigantic corporations are organized, very hierarchically. We should be, if we're going to be here telling you about this, we should be vice presidents or C-level people in the organization. But the fact that we're here to tell you about Blue Shirt Nation is in some small part an indication of what the hell just happened at Best Buy, where the organization is starting to not be hierarchical anymore. Just as a quick aside, there was a recent reorganization in our group, and for the first time, because there's usually a reorg like every six months or so. But for the first time in 4 or 5 years that I've been there, this reorg didn't have a flow chart or like a very Tayloristic set of boxes with lines that go up to a single box. It was more circular. It was more network looking, and so that actually kind of blew my mind a little bit because it seems like things are changing. In fact, things are changing, and this is the story.
Yeah. So Blue Shirt Nation today, as it exists, is a social network for Best Buy employees. It's kind of like a little bit of MySpace, a little bit of YouTube, a little bit of Facebook, a little bit of LinkedIn. And today there's 24,000 employees on the site. And they go there voluntarily. They go there and they talk about whatever they want to talk about. The one thing they have in common is Best Buy. So I'd say 80-90% of the conversation always comes back to Best Buy, how to make it better, how to do things differently, what I've learned. And the funny thing, which Gary got to, is we shouldn't be here because really, I don't think Blue Shirt Nation should be where it is today. It was kind of a fluke that it all came together and became what it is. And I'll tell you why. Gary and I are advertising guys. Anyone see Mad Men and all? Anyone watch Mad Men? It's totally like that. That's what advertising is like today. It's awesome. Yeah. But we decided to leave. No. So we came out of advertising, and the reason Blue Shirt Nation started was because we had an agenda. We didn't like the work that we were doing. It was terrible. We didn't feel good about it. And if you don't feel good about your work in advertising, you got a problem. And we thought that the reason why the work was suffering and sucked so bad was because we weren't getting the insights that were real. What were customers actually saying in store? So we thought, hey, we know social networking a little bit. Gary had done some research. He had played around with a content management system called Drupal. Let's build a network and see if people will come and talk to us about what customers are saying in store. So we'll get some insights, create some better advertising, and we'll go. What was really cool is that we got support to do that. Fluke number one.
Yeah. I mean, well, it took a little bit. We shopped around a PowerPoint deck for a little while, and everyone was like, yeah, it's a great idea. You should go do that. You should go talk to this person. And that person would go, yeah, this is a great idea, great. You know who you should talk to? You should talk to this person. So we'd go talk to the next person, and then they say, I love this idea. You know who you should talk to? And it was the first person that we talked to. So there was support for the thing. There was just no money, so we just bought some hosting. You can buy hosting now for almost nothing. I think we got 2 years for $100 or so. And we just built it, and then started doing the meetings, and then things changed a little bit. But that is a fluke. I mean, and I think I know we've talked about it today. The concept of unintended consequences. The lawyers looked at it, and they were like, well, yeah, I think that'll be all right. And HR looked at it, and they thought, yeah, that'll be all right. That's no problem. And so far, there's no real damage that's been done, but...
But can I cut you off?
Yeah.
Because I think the funniest thing is that when we showed it to the employees, And they didn't say, yeah, that's all right. They said, God, this thing
That
sucks.
sucks.
This is terrible.
Yeah.
We went to these employees and said, hey, we've got this network we built. Take a look at it once we had the support. And we're sitting in a room with them, and the first thing they said is, it looks like it came from corporate. It did, which is actually a big insult, coming from the stores. It's ugly. I don't know how to work it. I don't trust it. Why would I use something like this?
Where's the log out button?
Yeah. It's just,
I just want to log out.
Yeah.
Make it easier to log out.
so that was probably the best gift we got, because we sat there and we looked at each other and we said, we work in advertising. We create campaigns. We don't know shit about this work.
Yeah. That was
We
the
know
cool
nothing.
thing, was that we knew that we didn't know anything. We knew that we were sort of at the mercy of our users, I mean, now Drupal is a fun, easy platform to install, and it's blah, blah, blah. Back when I installed it, you had to know a little bit of something called PHP, which I thought was like a healthcare plan of some kind, or a drug, or I don't know. And so I had to learn a little bit of it. So there was a little bit of a learning curve, but knowing that you really don't know anything puts you at the mercy of your users.
People you're trying to influence. And that being the case, we got together with our users. We got 20, 40 people together over a couple days, and we said, all right, we know it sucks. Tell us what sucks about it even more. Why would you use it? Why wouldn't you use it? What would make you want to tell other people to use it? Because that was the only thing that was going to make this thing work, is if people wanted to use it, because we were their peers. We weren't their bosses, we were their peers. And we had to have them, they had to come to the site because they wanted to, not because we asked them to. And so what was awesome about those 2 days we sat in those rooms was that we wrote the social contract of what was acceptable and what wasn't. We had to listen and act and make changes right there based on the feedback that they gave us.
Yeah, it was interesting too, because the contract that they came in under was much different than the contract that we actually sort of, not literally a contract, but was much different than the contract that they left with. The contract that they came in with was a power contract. It was about who's in power, who's in what position of power. And when they came in to the labs that we had set up, had computers, we had donuts, we had Mountain Dew. The average age of our store employees is like 20. So we had donuts, Mountain Dew, we had stuff, and they sat at their computers and just were texting, paying absolutely no attention to us. Because we're corporate. They understood what the power relationship was. They understood the contract. They're the doers. We're the, people in charge. By the time they had left, and we had to prostrate ourselves a bit to get them to understand that, no, you're going to have to be in charge. Otherwise, we're screwed. Because we can't force you to go to this website. This is not, we can't make it a condition of your employment or any of those things. We need you to volunteer to come to the site. And so when they got that, it was much different. Things balanced out. Things became a level playing field.
And actually the ownership shifted in that room in those days.
It did.
It went from us being the guys in advertising to us being part of a community of people. And the ownership relied on that community. And we had to listen to that community and act based on what they were asking us for in order to keep that trust and start to earn that trust and eventually to keep that trust. So what's interesting, I think we'll go on and talk about how it started to change the organization. So over time, over the next year, the word of mouth thing started to work. It started to grow. Had 1,000 employees, then we had 2, then we had 12, then we had 15. We're, like I said, 24,000 today. And all of them voluntarily through word of mouth. And the impacts they've had at the company have been pretty huge. One example, which I'll share with you, is around our employee discount. This is about a year into Blue Shirt Nation, and our employee discount was changing. Management and HR rewards had made some decisions based on some real business problems we were having that we needed to alter our discount, and it was actually making it a little bit worse for the employees. What was interesting about that is the announcement came out on Tuesday, but it broke on Blue Shirt Nation on Monday. Someone had found out about it. And over 3 days, there was thousands of employees who now have a place to be able to be heard and to be listened to and to matter, came out and they said, wait a minute, first of all, I'm a little pissed off, which, there's emotion there. But more importantly, they came out and said, this is important to us, and it's important to us because it helps us with our recruiting. Circuit doesn't have this. We need this. We need this discount. It helps us try our products, the ones that you want us to sell to our customers. How are we going to be incented to do that? I can probably find stuff other places and buy it, but I want to buy it here, right? And so there's some real business reasons why it was important. Those came out in those conversations. And what was really cool is, again, broke on a Monday on Blue Shirt Nation. By Thursday, the team that had made that decision to change the employee discount took all that feedback and started to have a conversation and said, wait a second, maybe we didn't realize all of the things that this was affecting. Let's change it back.
Right.
Let's leave it as is.
Right. People who on the site had maybe created a login, had come to the site, but never posted anything, posted stuff. People who regularly posted a lot and told their friends about it. We had people sign up just so that they could register their disapproval or give a point of view. And I think what ended up happening, this was one of those moments where we both kind of looked at each other and went, okay, this is it. They're
turning it off.
Yeah, they're gonna turn it off, because you can't run a $40 billion company as a democracy, right? Not everyone gets a vote here, right? But what ended up happening was a conversation took place where value in the company that might have normally been lost just due to the normal course of business, 6 vice presidents in a room together looking at spreadsheets saying, we need to cut here, need to cut here, need to cut here, without really understanding the value of the discount, because it brings in people who are into the product. A lot of people come to Best Buy to work at Best Buy because they're in college and they want the discount because they want the TV, they want the iPod, they want the music, they want the games, they want the, they dig the product. Those are the people that you want working in your store. You take the product away, they're going to go somewhere else, and who are you going to get? Someone who provides you less differentiation at the customer experience level. So now all of a sudden, this new social contract where I'm an equal participant, I have an equal voice, all of a sudden has a tangible effect of retaining business value. People saw this and went, they had that moment of price discovery, right? Like when 3 houses are sitting on a block for a year, they're all priced about the same, none of them are moving, then all of a sudden one of them sells and the other 2 go just like that. That's what happened here. People saw that not only could we maybe uncover value that we're losing during the normal course of business, but maybe with this new structure, we could tap into the 160,000 people that work for us, that have something in common with us, and we could create new value. And so there was this jailbreak, right? There were corporate wikis. There were corporate forums that went up. There were
an idea marketplace.
Conferences all across the place. Some of them work, some of them don't work. But what's really, really happened is that a change has taken place. Before they'll roll out a new ad campaign, before they'll roll out a new financing option, before they'll do almost anything, they'll put it out there and say, what do you think of this? The CMO will put it out there. The executive vice president of this, that, and the other thing will put it out on Blue Shirt Nation or the water cooler or the wiki or on their own blog, right out in public. I mean, the fact that Barry Judge, our CMO, blogs about our holiday strategy in public, 2 months before holidays even going to really kick off, blows people's minds.
We've never done it before. We've
never
been scared
done it
to do it before.
But I think what has happened here is that people have they've discovered the price of trust versus the price of power, and there's an equation that they get worked out in their mind, that they don't have to spend the money on maintaining a hierarchy, or the resources, or the brain power, or whatever it is. That with a few simple rules and a few simple tools, you can actually have an organization that innovates based on a culture of trust and mutual respect.